April of 1994 by the count of 92-76. The Knicks have suffered 11 straight losses in Chicago. That includes playoffs. They are 0-8 all time here at the United Center. Let's take a look at the starting lineups. The Knicks at 56-25. The Bulls at 69-12. The Knicks with Charles Oakley, Larry Johnson, Patrick Ewing, Chris Childs, Allan Houston. Their usual starting five. Jason Caffey, Scottie Pippen up front. Luke Longley, the center for Chicago, and Michael Jordan and Ron Harper in the backcourt. The officials: David Jones, Ed T. Rush, Mark Wonderling. Of significance to the New York Knicks, earlier this evening, the Atlanta Hawks beat the Philadelphia 76ers 136-104. The magic number for the Knicks to clinch the third seed remains at 1. To clinch third, the Knicks with a win tonight, or they have to hope that Atlanta loses now tomorrow against New Jersey. And third seed would probably mean a first-round matchup with Detroit. The Bulls here at home, 39-1. That's the best home record in the NBA. The only loss to Miami. They've won 32 straight at home, and 40 wins would tie the 1985-86 Boston Celtic record of 40 home wins in a single season.
And Chicago, of course, being a championship caliber team, they always seem to be able to bounce back after a loss. Now, they did lose to Miami on Thursday night, and only one other time this season did they lose two in a row, and that was here against Miami and at Toronto.
And the Bulls have lost 2 of their last 3 games. That is unheard of, losing to Detroit last Sunday and Miami. Allan Houston not able to hit on that opening shot, and knocked out of bounds. It will be Chicago ball, and Charles Oakley having difficulty getting unraveled. Oakley went crashing into the Knick bench trying to save it, and he's all right.
Well, that's not exactly a surprise. That's what Charles Oakley has done all his career. Get on the floor for loose balls, dive into the crowd for anything he can save.
Scottie Pippen looking for Michael Jordan. And Jordan being guarded by Houston here at the start. Well, you heard Ahmad on his report say that Phil Jackson and Michael Jordan told him Michael was going for 65 points, as incredible as that sounds, to try and make it 9 years, averaging 30 points or more. Offensive foul is called. Allan Houston picks it up on the charge. And Michael Jordan certainly has had some huge games against the New York Knicks. A litany of what he has accomplished: 51, 54, 55, the 55-point game when he made his return following the short minor league baseball career. And here's Jordan going at Houston. Yes. 4-0 Bulls. In the history of the NBA, Matt, there have been only 20 games of 65 or more points. And Wilt Chamberlain with 15 of those games. His career high, Michael Jordan's career high, 69. The season high, 51 of that against the Knicks back in January. Houston, Allan Houston, who's picked it up recently. In fact, he has been on the floor in the fourth quarter for the Knicks the last couple of games after Jeff Van Gundy had pulled him in that situation. And the foul is called on the Knicks. It was on Ewing.
The first 2 half-court possessions for the Chicago Bulls, straight post-up for Michael Jordan. He's not wasting any time. And on the second one, 2 blue shirts running at Michael Jordan, sensing that he is trying to get it going. One time, Marv, against Orlando, we held Michael to 64.
We did, huh? Jordan with an air ball that was handled by Oakley. Here's Houston feeling the pressure from Harper. Another school of thought, though, when one player goes out and scores that many points. Well, Caffey with a rare shot opportunity. It can hurt the overall team approach in terms of winning the ball game. So it may be that the Bulls have decided that it's more important for Jordan to average 30 points per game than to win number 70. Of course, they'd like to do both. Luke Longley with the rebound.
I think Allan Houston might be going for 60 as well, as he has shot the ball every time he's touched it.
Caffey taking advantage of the overplay. Charles Oakley came out, gambling on the pass, and Caffey took advantage. Bulls with a 6-4 lead.
The Bulls have to be happy to see Jason Caffey finish off a play like that. He gets a lot of strong moves to the basket, doesn't always finish, as Patrick Ewing hits one from the perimeter.
And Patrick Ewing on a roll, a game-high 26, along with 14 rebounds in a win over Indiana at the Garden last night. Longley. So the Bulls with an 8-6 lead. Chicago's last game was Wednesday night in Miami. The Heat beating the Bulls 102-92. Off the steal. Here's Caffey chased by Childs. It counts. And the foul.
Now that's typical Chicago Bull defense. A very careless, ill-advised pass by Charles Oakley. Not even sensing his defender, Jason Caffey, with his hands up. Easily picked off by Pippen, and then the run out by Jason Caffey, and another finish while getting fouled.
Jason Caffey in the starting lineup with Dennis Rodman suffering the injury. Rodman out of action since March the 26th with a sprained ligament in his left knee. He had a strong desire to return for the game against Miami the other day, and this finale against the Knicks. Pippen with the steal. Rodman, though, will resume at practice on Tuesday. Here's Harper. It counts. And the foul.
Well, 2 straight turnovers by the New York Knicks as Pippen in the trap. And a lazy jump in the air pass from Larry Johnson. Pippen with the long arms, able to knock this loose and get his second straight steal as he just got back in bounds to recover that ball. And actually, Ron Harper was looking around for somebody to pass to, couldn't find anybody, said, oh, what the heck, I'll take it to the hole.
22nd timeout taken by the Knicks. So the Bulls have hit their last 4 shots, 6 of 9 from the field. This is the 4th meeting between the Knicks and the Bulls. Bulls have won 2 of the 3. Michael Jordan in that 88-87 victory here in Chicago with 51 points. The Knicks with that 97-93 win in New York. Patrick Ewing 12 of 18 for 32 points. Scottie Pippen went right at his good friend Larry Johnson in the 3rd meeting at the Garden. April the 10th got off to the fast start, and then Jordan took over in the 4th quarter with 20 of the Bulls' 24 points in the final 7.5 minutes. The Knicks ended up defending Jordan with Larry Johnson, Patrick Ewing, and the Bulls now lead 14-8. Jeff Van Gundy has opened up with the matchup of Allan Houston going against Michael Jordan. Now Jordan posting up. So Michael Jordan, with a sense of urgency here at the start, has hit 3 of 4. He has 6 points, and the Bulls lead 16-8.
And his body is alive, and he's not thinking about double teams coming. He's going to go right at a double or a triple if it's there.
Caffey with an impressive sweeping rebound. Bulls have a 10-2 run working. Longley to the left hand, rebounded by Oakley. Chris Childs, played by Ron Harper. Ewing putting the move on Longley and foul. So Luke Longley called for his first.
Well, the one thing, the other Bulls players, when they're getting their opportunities, they're looking to score. But when Michael gets it, he's definitely looking to do it. He's not even looking to run offense or to make any passes. He has posted up now 3 times, and every time he has gotten it inside, he feels he can just quickly either get around Allan Houston or get up in the air and shoot it before he can get challenged.
New York Knicks with a road record of 25 and 15. They've had won 4 straight on the road. That streak snapped this past Monday by an overtime loss in Indianapolis. Since then, the Knicks have won 2 in a row against Atlanta and then Indiana last night. Won't count. Offensive foul out on Longley, so that's 2 on Longley.
Well, the big fella Luke Longley leaving his feet as Charles Oakley able to step up and under and take that charge, as Luke Longley has been his bent to pick up early fouls and get into trouble. This is a very early look for Robert Parrish.
43-year-old Robert Parrish in his 21st NBA season. As we mentioned, Atlanta over Philadelphia. Steve Smith, 21 points. Mookie Blaylock with 17. Miami knocked off Orlando 102-88. So Miami with win number 61. Finishing on a winning note. Bulls with a 16-9 lead. 5 minutes gone by. Caffey off a crossover sets it up for Parrish. So Chicago 18 and the Knicks 9. Bulls have shown a lot of energy. They've come out looking very sharp. I know that's a concern of Phil Jackson going into the playoffs. He has not been pleased with their recent play. This is a Chicago team that has been without Dennis Rodman and Tony Kukoc, Bill Wennington, reach and foul. Timeout is taken. Foul committed by Michael Jordan. 6:37 remaining. In this first quarter, the Bulls lead by 9. Ahmad Rashad will be talking with Tiger at 21 years of age, the youngest man by 2 years to win the Masters. And he's been referred to as Michael Jordan in long pants. Charles Oakley. And the Bulls lead 18-11. 2 weeks ago, Tiger Woods was in attendance when the Bulls played in Orlando against the Magic. Met Michael Jordan for the first time before that game. But they have had many conversations since then. Here is Jordan. 4 for 5, 8 points, and the Bulls with a 20-11 lead. Halfway through this opening quarter, Marv Albert with Matt Dukas and Ahmad Rashad. Larry Johnson. Rebounded by Parrish. Jordan was looking for the 3. Robert Parrish. Michael Jordan. Now Johnson working against Pippen. Larry Johnson with a nice move to recall the game in New York after some unkind remarks were exchanged between Scottie Pippen and Larry Johnson. Pippen with a tremendous start as Phil Jackson set it up for Pippen to go right at Larry Johnson. He scored 18 points in the first quarter.
And the last 2 possessions, the Knicks came down and went inside to Larry Johnson before that jump shot by Patrick Ewing. And on the first one, Larry Johnson with the fadeaway, which defenders don't really mind. They'll put the hand up and just try to bother it. The second time in, when he made the little left-hand jump hook, he took it strong to the basket. But this is how Larry Johnson can effectively play, even against a little bit taller player like Scottie Pippen, is take him inside.
Second foul on Johnson. In fact, this has been a pattern he's been getting in the early foul difficulty. So John Starks has come on. Beautiful pass from Jordan. Parrish could not put it down. The save by Starks. Starks running the floor. Charles Oakley wide open. 4.5 remaining in this first quarter. The Bulls lead by 7. And Jason Caffey extends to a 22-13 advantage.
Jason Caffey doing a good job in every area, but in particular of getting out and running and taking advantage of the slow transition defense of the Knicks.
So Caffey with 7 points. The assist to Scottie Pippen. That's 5 assists for Pippen here in the first.
Can the Lakers go for the division? Or it's winning you're in for the Cavs or Bullets? Or Barkley and the Rockets play for home court? Playoff Impact, Sunday on NBC.
Well, 8 points at the start for Michael Jordan. The indication earlier that he's gunning for 65, 54 points away from averaging 30 points per game.
No question he has come out roaring, working on Allan Houston in the post and anybody else in a New York Knicks uniform that may come his way. Then with a quick dribble, the head fake to get rid of Allan Houston. So far, Michael Jordan 4 for 7 from the field, and he definitely has a big number in mind. The Reds are the makes, the Blues are the misses, as I think Michael, by my unofficial count, Marv, has only passed the ball twice, reluctantly.
Air ball from Charles, and Oakley felt he was fouled. So they were reluctant passes. And here's Jordan with a runner. 10 points for Jordan. And the Bulls lead 24-13. Not that I would ever doubt the credibility of the Dean Ahmad Rashad, but when he told us about the goal of 65, I know you scoffed at it, and I went along with your thoughts.
you equally scoffed.
Patrick Ewing with 7 points, and the Bulls now lead 24-15. But number 23 is serious about this.
Even when Michael has had those big games in the 50s, he usually says he doesn't come into a game with that in mind. That usually develops, but there's no question he came out with a motive.
9-point Chicago lead, 3:20 remaining in the first quarter. Also on the line tonight, the Bulls gunning for win number 70 as John Starks hits the three. Bulls try to win their 40th at home to tie the mark of the Boston Celtics of the 85-86 season, 40 wins. Hopper and Childs with the rebound. Get the idea the crowd gets annoyed if Jordan does not take the shot. Childs got the step and then set it up for Oakley. Nice play by Chris Childs, and the Bulls now lead by 6. 7-0 run by the Knicks. The steal by Childs took it away from Harper, and Childs with the bucket. It's a 2-point Chicago lead. And for the Knicks, a win tonight would mean locking into the number 3 seed in the Eastern Conference. Here's Parrish. Offensive foul. And the Bulls, after the good start, are out of sync. Well, before you watch the NBA on NBC tomorrow, go online to NBCSports.com for complete game previews and scouting reports, plus the weekly trivia game and the interactive poll question, who should be the NBA Rookie of the Year? A host of good candidates this season, and we'd like to hear from you. Cast your vote at NBCSports.com. Well, the Knicks in the midst of a 9-0 run. They've hit their last 4 shots. Coming up on 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Steve Kerr has checked in for the first time, replacing Ron Harper. Caffey, Kerr, Parrish. Kerr picked up on the switch over Ewing.
An unusual shot for Steve, forcing that shot before the game. I asked him if he lost a bet. He's got a new haircut. I thought Arizona won the NCAA title.
Mad.
He chuckled. He enjoyed it.
Your entire image has changed this season. Used to be such a nice guy. Illegal defense call for the first time. It's on the Bulls. Minute 39 left in this first quarter, and the Knicks are within 2 off the good run. Bulls led by as many as 11. And this call away from the ball is against the Knicks. Offensive foul on Allan Houston. That's 2 on Houston.
Well, the one thing Steve Kerr's presence on the floor always does and helps out Michael Jordan is it spreads it, it makes it wider and gives more driving lanes, because you have to honor Steve Kerr's three-point capabilities, even if Michael is trying to score every time. And, you know, just because Michael is trying to score doesn't mean he's not trying to win the game. Lately, the Bulls have been looking for offense. I think Michael's coming out trying to score. Hopefully his teammates pick it up along with him, but he's trying to win the game as well.
Charlie Ward has come on, replacing Allan Houston. Ward has played well. In fact, he's been on the floor the last couple of games in the fourth quarter. Parrish. Chris Childs also sporting a new look. Starks over Kerr. And Caffey lost it in the collision with Oakley, but it was deflected out by Oakley.
Well, you always expect a physical battle anytime these two teams get together, as Pippen coming down to set a pick. And I think Patrick felt he threw the shoulder in, and then Allan Houston trying to set a pick and went out of his way to put a little extra wood on it. But anytime anybody going through the lane, there's going to be some physical contact. And whenever you're talking about Scottie Pippen playing against the New York Knicks, it goes back to, well, it goes back before that to the Bad Boys in Detroit, where they were very physical with him. But in the early Riley years in New York, they tried to bang Scottie Pippen at every opportunity.
Off the steal, Ward pops it down to Charles. Went to the reverse, and Ward on the follow, and was fouled by Caffey. Very unusual to see the Knicks go with the combination of Charlie Ward and Chris Childs on the floor at the same time. That because of the foul difficulty of Allan Houston. Charlie Ward has had his ups and downs. Went through the streak of 7 games. Went 0 for 14. And has come on recently. Has played well. Also has gotten more playing time. Substitution. Judd Bushler has checked in, as has Brian Williams, the recent addition to the roster for Brian Williams. It is his 9th game as a member of the Bulls. The Knicks in the midst of a 10-0 run. The Bulls have not scored in 3 minutes. Buck Williams on the floor for the first time tonight for the Knicks. Bulls by 1. Here's Pippen. That's his first shot attempt. Half-minute remaining in the first quarter. So the other part of the equation, Matt, as we touched on earlier, if one player is trying to do that kind of scoring to put the rest of the club out of sync, Oakley able to hit, and the Knicks lead by 1.
Oddly enough, early in the game, I didn't notice it. Every time Luke Longley had a scoring opportunity, took it. Ron Harper took one, so the other players didn't seem to back off and defer to Jordan early.
Here's Kirk. 3. With 3 seconds to go in the first. And Ward fires from center court. After 1 here in Chicago. The Bulls 27 and the Knicks 25. Patrick Ewing with 7. Michael Jordan opening 5 of 9 for 10 points. You are watching the NBA on NBC.
By my man Dennis Rodman. And Dennis, I know you had strained ligaments in your knee and you wanted to play a couple of games before the season's over. That's not going to happen, but how is the injury and how soon will you be back?
The injury's coming on real well, but it's unfortunate that I have to sit out these games because I don't want to go into the playoffs being real rusty. So I wish I would have got a couple of games, especially this game, but it's not going to happen. So I just got to move on and wait for the playoffs.
Will you be able to practice this week?
I don't know. I got to ask Phil if I'm going to get to practice. I don't
After
know.
you ask Phil, will you tell me?
Yes, I will.
Okay, thanks. Back to you, Marv.
All right, thank you, Ahmad. Second quarter getting underway. Dennis Rodman on his way to another rebounding title, averaging better than 16 rebounds per game. Out of action since late March with a sprained ligament in his left knee. This will be his 5th straight rebounding championship. The Bulls 21-5 though without Rodman due to injury and or suspension. Randy Brown, who has been out of the lineup with a leg injury, able to set it up for Steve Kerr to get this second quarter rolling. Dickie Simpkins is also checked in, so it's Simpkins with Williams and Pippen up front, Kerr and Brown in the backcourt. While the Knicks go with the 3 guards, Ward, Starks, and Childs, along with Oakley and Williams. And a foul called on Pippen, and yet another collision.
Well, John Starks running off a big screen by Charles Oakley, who stepped out to try to nail Pippen, and Pippen in his haste overrunning John Starks. Jeff Van Gundy has to be very upset. He's got 2 point guards in there, in Ward and Childs, another good ball handler in Starks, and they turn that ball over. When you turn it over against Chicago, they generally capitalize.
And Starks had the shot blocked. The Knicks leading the NBA. Most turnovers just under 18 per game. Oh, he hit the deck hard. And a flagrant foul will be called. He was trying to stuff it, and he was slammed down. A flagrant against the Knicks.
Right away, Charles Oakley going to the referee. He felt that Scottie Pippen waved off with the left arm in his attempt to dunk over Buck Williams, as Scottie Pippen taking it strong in on Buck and did push off ever so slightly with the left arm, or at least tried to ward off Buck Williams, but from The live action, I felt that Buck tried to block that shot, but once you come down with the arm and don't get ball and get some body, you're talking about some possible flagrant situation.
Well, you could feel the impact right there. Buck Williams still discussing the flagrant call with the official, Mark Wunderlich. 1 minute gone by in the second quarter, and the Bulls now lead the Knicks 32-25. Larry Johnson checking back in, replacing Chris Childs. Johnson playing with 2 fouls. Michael Jordan getting a rest here at the start of the second. Here's Brian Williams, got him to step. And then Williams took a poke, like he took a shot over the eye. Ward protecting the dribble on Brown, who's an excellent defensive player. Buck Williams, nice move by Buck Williams, and the Bulls now lead 32-27. Kerr comes into tonight's game, number 2 in 3-point field goal percentage, behind the points of Charlotte, Randy Brown. Randy Brown missed games recently with an inflamed Achilles tendon. Made his return Wednesday in the game against Miami.
Randy Brown putting intense pressure on Charlie Ward, trying to take the Knicks out of their half-court offense. They do eventually get it inside, however.
And Williams is fouled. Well, a reminder, tomorrow, the final day of the NBA regular season, will get underway right here on NBC at 3 o'clock Eastern with NBA Showtime. And most of you will see Shaquille O'Neal and the Los Angeles Lakers going up against Kenny Anderson and the Portland Trail Blazers. Others will see the Bullets and the Cavaliers in a big one, or Houston and the San Antonio Spurs. Check your local listings for the game in your area. A programming note that tomorrow's Washington-Cleveland game will be seen now in Chicago, the upper Midwest, the Cleveland area, and the Baltimore-Washington region. Whoever wins will make it to the playoffs in that 8th and final seed in the Eastern Conference. The loser goes home. If Cleveland wins, they go to the playoffs, despite the fact you look at the record with the Bullets at 43 and 38 and the Cavs a game behind. They would do it by virtue of a 4th tiebreaker. They have the identical records, as you saw. They split the season series if Cleveland wins tomorrow. They have identical records against Eastern Conference teams. That's the 2nd tiebreaker. And the records against the Eastern Conference playoff teams would settle it. Cleveland slightly ahead in that department. Those unusual scenarios where the winner on the final day of the regular season will go to the playoffs. Well, the Knicks want a goaltend. Pippen able to protect the dribble. Behind the back for Simpkins. Simpkins gets it back. Simpkins not able to score. Firing a brick. And here comes Starks. Putting the move on Brown, and he's fouled.
Well, Jeff Van Gundy still hot about no goaltend called on Scottie Pippen as it lazily lays right on that rim. As it appeared, Scottie Pippen interfered while it was still above the ring and on the rim, and it should have been offensive interference.
9.5 remaining. Second quarter. The Bulls by 6.
One of the reasons why John Starks is a strong candidate for the 6th Man award is the energy that he has brought off the Knicks bench all season long. Look at these numbers. 4th in scoring, 6th in assists, stealing the ball, and always a dangerous 3-point shooter. In fact, John has one tonight. He's 1 for 4 overall from the field, and you see what he has done tonight so far. The Knicks getting stung early by Michael Jordan, and -9 while John was not in the game, and then +3 since he has come on.
And John Starks, a player who has been instrumental in most of the Knicks comeback victories. He has had a terrific all-around season. The Bulls have led by as many as 11. The Knicks at one point led by 1. It's now Chicago 34, New York 29, with 9.5 remaining in the second quarter. The Knicks with 2 straight wins, 3 of the last 4 after they lost 3 of their previous 4, involved in a tailspin. In fact, since they beat the Bulls in New York back on March 9th, they have gone just 9 up and 9 down. And there was the thought that perhaps they got caught up in the glow of that win. To them, a huge win over their rivals, the Chicago Bulls.
Well, this is a rare occurrence in the main body of the game. Both Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan on the bench getting a rest.
Simpkins just did beat the 24, rebounded by Johnson. Well, Matt, a view from Skycam here at the United Center. Kickball is called. And they'll get the new 24. Well, look at the leading scorers tonight. Michael Jordan, 5 of 9, 10 points. Scottie Pippen took only 1 shot. Patrick Ewing with 7. Johnson putting moves on Buechler. Rebounded by Buechler.
Strong move once again by Larry Johnson, but a weak finish. He just not able to take that ball strong to the rim when he gets close to the basket.
Nice move by Brian Williams, who spin with the left hand. Brian Williams, last year a member of the Los Angeles Clippers, was a season-long holdout this year. Also sat out because of knee surgery. Johnson coming into the air ball. The Simpkins went flying.
And I think he changed his pivot foot about 3 times, which most of the crowd here saw in the United Center. None of the 3 officials saw it, as once again Larry Johnson going against Judd Buechler, a good defender, but getting all befuddled once he gets to the moment of truth in an attempt to put up a shot.
Foul committed by Brian Williams. Diggy Simpkins sitting down. Luke Longley is back. The Bulls by 6. 4 minutes gone by in the second quarter. Starks got the step on Kerr. Longley with the rebound. On the move. Oh, what a play. Yes, and it counts. Randy Brown putting the speed on and threw the foul. It's on Charlie Ward.
Now, still no excuse for the poor transition defense off the John Starks miss. Charlie Ward just backpedaling all the way and letting Randy Brown go to his strong hand, the right side, instead of coming up at that top of the key area and trying to make a stand and make him veer one way or the other, preferably to his weaker hand, the left side.
Randy Brown in his 6th NBA season out of New Mexico State, a hometown guy, native of Chicago, very happy to be with the Bulls, originally a 2nd-round pick of the Sacramento Kings. Michael Jordan makes his return. Coming on for Steve Kerr, who scored 6 points.
Michael had to get that ice off his arm and get a little rubbed down to get ready to launch a few more.
The Knicks had difficulty finding an inbounds receiver and forced to call for timeout. 7:43 remaining, first half. As we discussed a moment ago, John Starks having a superb season and doing it coming off the bench, a leading candidate for that 6-man award. He did not accept the role of coming off the bench last season under Don Nelson when Nelson was head coach of the Knicks, but he readily went for it this year, and it's paid off.
Well, I think the way they went about handling the situation last year with Coach Nelson, just blatantly, saying we're going to give this, to him, and there's nothing you're going to do about it. They ain't really come ask me. They basically trying to push me out that starting position. And Jeff and the coaching staff, they talked to me about it, and, I was willing to accept it. I looked at it in a way what is going to help this team, and I thought me coming off the bench and Allan being the starter was going to be a great importance to us getting back to the championship this year.
And as you listen to John Starks discussing his role, he's able to come up with a beautiful move to the basket, drew the foul. It's on Brown as second, and now Starks completes the 3-point play to cut that Chicago lead to 6. 7.5 remaining in the first half. Marv Albert, Matt Dukas, and Ahmad Rashad from the United Center in Chicago. The Bulls seeking win number 70 on the season, while the Knicks are trying to lock up the 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference. Jordan lost it, recovered by Longley. Rebound handled by Williams.
And John Starks now has the responsibility of guarding Michael Jordan. Initially, a job he has lost really over the last couple of years, where his coaches didn't think he was big enough to battle Jordan inside. Here's how most teams view John and why he is an ideal 6th man, because he can score quickly off the bench. He can take the ball strong to the basket, and when you're defending him, you try to make him go to his left. But an energy guy coming off the bench that can defend and score quickly, that's what you like in a 6th man.
And here's Starks for 3. Longley reaching for the rebound. Randy Brown has had the touch. He's 3 for 3. The Bulls 41 and the Knicks 33. Today, the Atlanta Hawks over the Philadelphia 76ers, 136-104, so they are back in a tie with the Knicks, although the Knicks have the tiebreaker by virtue of the season series. They've beaten the Hawks 3 out of 4. Both clubs at 56 and 25. Atlanta finishes at New Jersey tomorrow. The magic number for clinching for the Knicks is 1. A victory tonight or a Hawk loss tomorrow would do it. On the other hand, if the Knicks lose tonight and the Hawks win tomorrow, the Hawks would take 3rd seed in the East. Longley and Bushler for 3. Childs putting moves on Brown. Childs these days reluctant to shoot. In contrast to the start of the year, when he sprained his wrist. Nice move by Ewing. He has 9 points. Chris Childs has not been the same since suffering that sprained wrist injury.
That was a good decision that time by Chris Childs. Explored the break, didn't have it, took it outside, and finally the Knicks have gotten the ball inside of Ewing, where he could work a little bit against Luke Longley in a post position or in a driving situation. Luke Longley picked up 2 fouls in this game. Here's Patrick working on Longley. Not that Longley is hurting New York at the offensive end, but Longley presents a problem defensively. He takes up a lot of space, plays decent one-on-one defense, and Patrick Ewing with no day's rest in back-to-back situations. A lot of people think Patrick is getting old, has sore knees, but he has responded in back-to-back situations.
And has been bothered by the knee difficulties recently. Here's Jordan for 3. So Michael Jordan has 13 points. Bulls lead 44-35. Allan Houston will just check back in. Back comes Bushler. By Bushler, and he was fouled. Randy Brown feeling it. He hit his first 3. And that time he rimmed, but it was converted by Judd Bushler, and then took the shot from behind from Larry Johnson, and Johnson with his 3rd foul, and Judd enjoyed that play.
And Judd enjoyed it, as well as Phil Jackson. Judd Bushler got off to a very slow start this year after having a solid season in the limited minutes that he gets. But with Tony Kukoc out so many games, Judd Bushler gets more called to play. They don't expect a lot of scoring from him, but they do expect those opportunity baskets, an occasional 3-er. They know he's going to run the offense. They know he's going to battle defensively.
Ball away from the ball. Offensive foul on Childs. Call for extending the right arm, trying to set a pick. And that's the first turnover for either club in the 2nd quarter. Buck Williams now sitting down. Charles Oakley is back. Oakley with Ewing and 3 guards, Starks, Childs, and Houston. Just under 5 remaining in this first half. Jordan put the move on Starks. 15 for Jordan. The Bulls open up a 13-point lead. It's their biggest of the night.
Well, Michael looks so quick, so sharp, stopping on a dime, reversing direction, just getting up so quickly as Ewing taking the ball to the basket.
11 for Ewing. The Bulls 48, the Knicks 37. Jordan went to the crossover. Starks able to stay right with him. Allan Houston cheating over to help out. So Starks was able to stop that sequence. Here's Jordan. The tip by Longley. And Luke Longley hearing the chants from the crowd.
Well, Chicago centers against Patrick Ewing will always get those opportunities because Patrick looking to clog the lane, looking to help. Remember when Will Perdue used to be so good at getting offensive rebounds. Another strong move by Patrick Ewing into the lane, which is something we've seen a lot from Patrick over the last week since that Miami game when the Knicks have made a concerted effort to take the ball to the basket.
Well, Michael Jordan, as you see now, 7 of 12 for 15 points. He's the high man for Chicago. Patrick Ewing leading the Knicks with 13. Phil Jackson calling for time. Thank you, Hannah. Michael Jordan's numbers 7 of 12 from the field. 15 points. He is the high scorer. He'll need quite a finish, though, to reach 65 as he predicted.
Well, Michael just waltzing down the lane to set a little pick on Buck Williams, but Buck took the opportunity to try to take a little starch out of Michael. So his retaliation is, I'm just going to keep trying to score every time I touch the ball. Michael doing it from the wings primarily. They generally start out as post-ups along the edge of the lane, and then with a quick fadeaway, able to get those shots off.
Bulls have 10 on the shot clock. 3.5 remaining in this first half. Now John Wallace has checked in for the first time for the Knicks. He's defending against Jordan. John Wallace, the rookie from Syracuse, who has had many big moments at home at Madison Square Garden, has become a huge crowd favorite. So Jeff Van Gundy switching off now, going with Wallace on Jordan. Patrick Ewing is on fire. 15 for Ewing, and the Bulls lead 52-41.
And one of the things that has kept John Wallace from getting more minutes was his defense. I think he just happened to switch on to Michael Jordan that time. I don't think John really would have a handle on trying to stay with Michael.
And the foul call on Childs. That is his third, so 3 apiece on Childs and Johnson. Scottie Pippen has been quiet, been deferential to Michael Jordan in terms of the scoring opportunities thus far tonight.
Well, 9 days ago in New York, Michael referred to it as ham and egging it, as Scottie Pippen got off to a great start in the first quarter, getting 18 of his 33 points, primarily against Larry Johnson, and then Michael did it. I guess he was the egg part in the fourth quarter, getting 20 of the 24. To finish off New York and win that close game at Madison Square Garden.
Rare missed free throw by Steve Kerr, one of the better foul shooters in the NBA. 7 points for Kerr. Bulls lead 53-41. Light pressure shown by the Bulls. 2.5 remaining. First half. Allan Houston from way downtown. But Ewing took a shot on the left side of the face. Bulls trying to take advantage, and now Ewing races down, but too late as Longley is able to hit. That's his third field goal. He has 6 points. Chicago 55 and New York 41.
It appeared that Patrick was reaching for or feeling for a contact lens that may have popped out.
Here's Ward for 3. Charlie Ward with a 3-pointer. That's his first field goal. Bulls lead by 11. Caffey with Pippen and Longley up front. Jordan and Kerr at the guards. And here's Pippen for 3, way off. Scottie out of rhythm because he has not been shooting the ball. He has picked it up offensively in recent weeks. Scottie does have 7 assists in this first half. Bulls lead 55-44. Allan Houston, Oakley and Jordan in that collision. And the foul is called on Michael Jordan. That is his second. Reminder coming up at halftime, Ahmad Rashad will talk with Tiger Woods. That is moments away. Charles Oakley at the free throw line.
Well, the Bulls already with 55 points in this first half against one of the best defensive teams in the league, the New York Knicks, who give up 92 a game and a low percentage as Michael Jordan has been taking his pops. Figured he'd lay one on former teammate, Charles Oakley.
As Charles Oakley spent 3 years with Chicago. This is 9th season with the Knicks. Charles Oakley was acquired in the deal 9 years ago for Bill Cartwright, who's now an assistant coach with the... Oh, the fadeaway by Jordan. 19 points for Michael Jordan, who is enjoying these moments. We come up on 1 minute remaining in the first half. Bulls lead 57-46. For Houston. And knocked out of bounds by Longley.
That's one of the things you try to do against Michael Jordan, especially when he's got it going offensively like this, is make him work at the defensive end, putting him on baseline screens, popping him with picks every chance they get.
Oakley on the follow. What a move by Ewing. Went to the crossover dribble. Chicago's lead is now 9. Phil Jackson firing the ball at the official David Jones. He's fortunate that he was not hit with a technical, and you can see he is upset. Seconds remaining in this first half. Jordan moves on Houston, setting it up for Longley, and it will be Nick Ball.
Michael showing a little frustration there. One of his earlier passes in the first quarter left a nice dish inside the Longley, couldn't handle it. This one he felt Luke should be able to take care of and finish off.
Jordan with 19 points in his 19 minutes in his first half. Longley with the steal and Cole for time. Got the 20-second timeout call. 24 9/10 seconds remaining in this first half. Well, high point man of the game, Jordan 19, Ewing with 15, Oakley has 10. Oakley also has 10 rebounds, and Pippen has 7 assists. I mentioned the trade, Charles Oakley coming to the New York Knicks for that man. Very studious looking Bill Cartwright.
And part of those 3 championships in 91, 92, and 93, and such a valuable contributor, was able to play such physical defense inside. And use those elbows very, very well. Some people used to think he sharpened them on a daily basis.
Out of the school of Phil Jackson as a player with the New York Knicks. Red Holzman used to say he was more concerned that Phil would hurt his teammates in practice with the sharp elbows.
And Phil could get you with his shoulders as well, which were very broad and pointy.
Bill Cartwright also played Patrick Ewing very effectively. They had a very good relationship going back to Cartwright's days with Ewing, he's a member of the New York Knicks. And he's the type of guy that it was tough to get annoyed with him. You used to have the feeling that Ewing liked Cartwright so much that he couldn't rev him up in terms of getting really mad at Cartwright and push him off the blocks, because they had that long-standing relationship. Bulls lead 57-48, 10 seconds remaining in the half. And a foul is called. The Knicks are over the foul limit. Walter McCarty, the rookie from Kentucky who just came on, called for that foul. Walter McCarty last night at Madison Square Garden sang the national anthem. Said it was a long-time goal. He had actually handled the honors prior to a Kentucky-Indiana game during his college days. Walter, an accomplished pianist, and wants to continue on in a professional songwriting career, but he got the crowd going. Even the Indiana Pacers came out to shake his hand after his rendition. Did a great job.
What about your review and critique on a scale of 1 to 10?
Oh, a 10. Solid.
Strong.
Covered with the steal, and that's the end of the first half. It's the Bulls 58 and the Knicks 48. Michael Jordan with 20 points. Coming up shortly, the Dean will chat with Tiger Woods. Stay tuned for the Prudential halftime report after these messages.
Odyssey, Sunday, May 18th on NBC.
Ahmad Rashad back at the United Center here in Chicago, and I talked to some of the Knicks players at halftime and said Jeff Van Gundy, very upset, said the team was not playing with any emotion and not really competing. In order to win a game like this, they're going to have to get back and do both of those. Now, I also talked with Michael Jordan as he went by, asked him how was he feeling. He said, well, I just need about 20 more. So he did say he was going to get 65, so maybe his math is a little off. Marv?
Yes, Michael with 20 points at the half. Needs 65 to finish up averaging 30, I should say 62 to average 30 points per game for a record 9th season. And the foul is called to open up this third quarter. Foul on Charles Oakley. Here's a breakdown of the Knicks defending Jordan in the first half.
Well, Allan Houston took the brunt of the attack early in the game as Michael was catching and shooting very quickly before Allan Houston could get any help at all. And Jeff Van Gundy did say before the game, depending on how it's going, they would come down and double team Michael if the situation warranted. But he also said at halftime, right now they're going to play it the same way, try to defend him one-on-one. When he is in a post-up position, they will come and double down there.
The Bulls 60. And the Knicks 48. Earlier today, the Atlanta Hawks beat the Philadelphia 76ers 136-104. So the Knicks and Atlanta at 56 and 25. The Knicks do have the tiebreaker should they finish in a tie with the Hawks. However, the Hawks play at New Jersey tomorrow. If the Knicks lose here tonight and Atlanta wins tomorrow, they would take the third seed. Third seed probably would mean a matchup against the Detroit Pistons in the first round. There's another factor here. The third seed would also mean not having to face the Chicago Bulls, if the Bulls do go on to the Eastern Conference Final, until that point. If the Knicks finish fourth, they could be faced with the Bulls in the second round. Able to advance. Caffey with 11 points. Very strong game for Jason Caffey.
Are you going to repeat all of that one more time?
You know, you have to hedge each point.
And if
Bulls lead 62-48. It's always much more pleasing to read about this after the season is over in your newspaper on Monday morning. Here's Childs for three. Chris Childs with only his second field goal. And the Bulls now lead by 11.
And the Knicks are going to need more of that, having the ball go inside to Ewing or Larry Johnson and then kick out to the guards. The guards, all four of them for New York, just 6 for 20 from the field in that first half. That will not get the job done.
Caffey knocked it away, recovered by Longley. Jordan, yes. Earlier on that Chicago possession, Allan Houston did a good job in getting the ball out of Michael Jordan's hands. Got the stop, but Jordan hit from the corner on the recovery. Michael now has 22 points. The ball back to Chicago. They lead by 13. And a foul. That is number 3 on Houston.
Well, it's always a good idea to, once you get it out of Michael Jordan's hands, to keep it out. Now, that's easier said than done because Michael is just so quick, so strong, able to use his body to catch the ball. But there comes a time when you have to start trying to deny him the basketball and make somebody else beat you with a shot.
Oh, Jordan hit the floor, lost the dribble. Childs lost it. Caffey able to recapture, and then it's knocked away by Childs.
Well, Michael Jordan has taken a number of bumps. You can see that knot on the left side of his head, which he got in the first quarter when he was triple teamed and sliced between a few defenders. Here, just really losing possession as he started to go up and then got bumped by Charles Oakley.
Pippen's feed intercepted by Childs. Houston out of 3-on-1 is fouled by Harper. That is the first on Harper.
There's that knot on the left side of Michael Jordan's forehead, as he has been bumped around quite a bit. Every time he goes through the lane, he takes a shot, and every time defensively he roams along the baseline trying to follow his man out, somebody sets a pick. But back in the first quarter, Michael Jordan was trying to score on every catch. Allan Houston no doubt caught him with his left elbow right on the left side as Michael Jordan felt it right away. He's got a little egg. We did talk about ham and egging in that first half. He's got a little egg.
And yes, earlier we touched on the feud earlier in the season with Jeff Van Gundy making the statements regarding Michael Jordan. Scottie Pippen is able to hit. And for Pippen, his first field goal, the Bulls now lead 66-53. You recall Jeff Van Gundy making the remark on a local radio station here in Chicago that players are overly respectful towards Jordan. He felt that Michael kind of cons them into being too nice on the court. He wants his guys to be more physical. Well, that's been the case here. Tonight's 24-second violation. And Michael Jordan used those statements for motivation, went out and scored 51 points against the Knicks. That was the first meeting of the season between these two clubs back in January.
Well, it's hard to be physical with Michael Jordan, mainly because he takes so many jump shots. You can't bang a guy outside when he's doing it. Here's a wide open jump shot, nobody near him. But you can do it at the defensive. When you're at the ball on offense and he's playing defense is when you can be physical with him, or anytime he comes in the lane.
Ewing. Patrick Ewing has had an excellent shooting ball game. 8 of 14, 17 points. And the Bulls now lead 66-55.
But Marv, aren't the great ones hard to get a handle on? You've watched Wayne Gretzky play ice hockey, and I'm sure a lot of people would like to hit him at every opportunity. Hard to catch him.
And Jordan putting moves on Houston. Oakley with the open shot. So that Chicago lead is down to 9. Timeout called by the Bulls. 7:28 left in the third.
A little earlier in this third quarter, Michael Jordan on penetration getting grabbed first, losing the ball, getting bumped by Charles Oakley, and many times teams, coaches would complain that that's when Michael Jordan would get bailed out. Not that time. Allan Houston grabbing, holding, being as physical as possible with Michael Jordan, but Michael just wears you out, finally shakes loose of Allan Houston, but maybe he got a little bit winded in all that effort, coming up short on the shot.
Well, the Knicks have cut that Chicago lead down to 9. 5 minutes in, third quarter. And Jordan draws the foul. Well, the Chicago Bulls with a couple of marks on the line, looking to win their 40th at home and looking to make it 70 wins as a follow-up to the record-breaking 72-10 a year ago. Just a magnificent run by this Chicago franchise. Right now, the 69-12 record by Phil Jackson's Bulls is the second best in terms of percentage in NBA history. Michael Jordan and Steve Kerr reached another level a week ago as they surpassed Wilt Chamberlain for appearing in the most NBA victories in 2 seasons. Chamberlain, wow. How rare is that? Jordan missing on both. Chamberlain played for the 66-67 76ers, as you did, Matt. They won 68-13, and the 71-72 Lakers went 69-13. Larry Johnson wide open, but a 3-second violation is called. It has been a very long night for Larry Johnson. 1 of 7 from the field. He's been in early foul trouble. Just 2 points, 3 rebounds.
You know, that's when Larry Johnson should probably be handling the ball a little more out at the top and be more of a playmaker. Jeff Van Gundy, he says that Larry is his best decision maker and a good passer. When he's not shooting, do something else.
And sloppy play here by the Chicago Bulls. Bulls wanted to finish up with a very impressive effort. They come off a poor performance against Miami. The Bulls with only 9 points in the second quarter Wednesday against Miami. With less than 2 minutes left in the quarter, they have scored only 2 points. Team record fewest points in the quarter, 6. Allan Houston knocks down a 3, and the Knicks very much back into it. They were down by as many as 14. They are now within 6. Jordan posting up Houston. Jordan coming up short, but fouled. Hacked by Houston, and that is number 4 on Allan Houston.
Well, after a good offensive play by the Knicks and Allan Houston by going inside and then back out, much easier for the guards to shoot better. But Michael Jordan, who has been short on some shots of late, missed his last 2 free throws, missed a jumper. Not a good foul by Allan Houston. Just should probably go straight up and try to make Michael Jordan make a shot here. He's been a little bit cold and talking to himself a little bit, and a little bit of frustration. But there's the bailout by Allan Houston, putting Michael on the line again.
Jordan, 84% free throw shooter, so hits on both. He has 24. Bulls lead 68-60, and here is some pressure. The Knicks have been very susceptible to the trap. This time they handle it. Johnson with a bad pass, recovered by Childs. Knicks swinging the ball, setting it up for Houston. Allan Houston, who is a streak shooter, able to hit another 3. 12 points for Houston, and it leads to a Chicago timeout. 5:47 to go in the third. The Bulls with a 68-63 lead.
Well, Phil Jackson very upset with Ron Harper for getting beat on that penetration by Childs, but it seems every time the Knicks get penetration, go inside, kick it out, they nail a jump shot.
Ahmad Rashad back at the United Center, and I'm now joined by the architect of the Chicago Bulls, and Jerry Krause. And Jerry, one of the key things in going into the playoffs, you want your team at 100%. Your team is now not at 100%. What about Tony Kukoc and Dennis Rodman?
Well, we expect him to be 100% by next week. Tony's fine. He's coming along real well. He'll get some practice this week, and we expect him to be ready to go. And the same thing with Dennis. He'll work Tuesday, Wednesday in practice, and we'll go from there. But we expect him back, and expect them both to be able to play.
Kind of take a little bit of load off to have the season over and then really getting ready to play these playoffs.
Yeah, it's time. We need to get going, and I think everybody's itching to end the season and start the chase to 15 games. You got to win 15, and the next 15 wins are the key ones. Every one you won from beforehand doesn't mean a thing.
All right, Jerry. Good luck to you in the playoffs.
Okay, great, Ahmad.
All right, back to you, Marv.
All right, thanks, Ahmad. Tony Kukoc out with that sprained right arch. He's had problems with the foot all season. Actually, could use 2 or 3 months rest to heal properly, but he'll be back for the playoffs, as you heard Jerry Krause say. Will be at practice on Tuesday, and the same for Dennis Rodman. There was a report earlier this week that Rodman might miss the first round, but Jerry Krause said not true. He'll be back, and he'll be at practice this week. 4:49 remaining in the third quarter. The Bulls with a 68-63 lead on the Knicks. Steve Kerr checks back in. Michael Jordan sitting down with 24 points.
Well, the feeling in and around the Chicago camp that both Dennis Rodman and Tony Kukoc could have been playing this last week to get themselves ready for the playoffs, but no need to take a chance with the injury to Kukoc, and no need to take a chance with Dennis Rodman possibly getting into some kind of trouble as Luke Longley makes that jumper before the playoffs start.
Yes, there's one school of thought that perhaps it would be wiser to keep Dennis Rodman out of the games against physical teams like Miami and New York, where some damage might have been done. Patrick Ewing, and the Knicks are down by 5. A 17-8 run by the Knicks here in this third quarter. As you know, Dennis would come out with high energy and would be looking to succeed right at the start. And the Bulls perhaps did not want any incidents to take place.
Well, Dennis Rodman's game does not need a lot of fine-tuning. He keeps himself in great shape. True, running on a treadmill and all that kind of thing is not the same as playing a game, but for what Dennis does for the basketball team, he does not need a lot of timing. His is all out hustle, getting after the ball on the boards and getting after the ball on the floor.
The basket counts and the foul. Allan Houston able to hit, and he was fouled. So Allan Houston with 14 points, and he's going to the line. The foul by Ron Harper. Take another look at it.
10 of them in this third quarter as he has been feeling it, and did a reasonably good job on Michael Jordan at the start of this third quarter, with the exception of that one foul on the jump shot.
Brian Williams back on the floor for the Bulls. So it's Williams with Caffey and Pippen up front. Harper and Kerr in the backcourt. The shot clock at 5. And here's Pippen. The Knicks at one point trailed by 14. They are down by only 3. Larry Johnson going at Scottie Pippen. Throws it back out. And Childs resets. Fires the 3.
And that's not the kind of shot that the Knicks need. Granted, shot clock winding down, but when the Knicks have played their best basketball, it's going inside first and then outside. Those kind of shots break your momentum.
And Ewing making contact, so the foul is called. That's 3 on Patrick Ewing. And Ewing does not like the call, and then it goes to the more gentle approach. Well, coming up next, join NBC Sports for the conclusion of the PGA Seniors Championship. The current leader, Hale Irwin, at 10 under par. He'll be trying to hold on to his 7-stroke lead over the field. The PGA Seniors Championship, presented by Advil, I should say tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern, right here on NBC. That would be golf under the lights if it were next. That's tomorrow, 12 noon Eastern, right here on NBC. 2.5 remaining in the third quarter, and the Bulls lead 72-67. I would think Patrick Ewing reflecting back to Monday night in that overtime loss to Indiana. Johnson for 3. And Allan Houston with a good play to keep it alive. Going to be a jump ball. So the Bulls able to tie up Houston. Ewing picking up a 6th foul in the game against the Pacers on Monday, then got into an argument with the official and lost his composure and picked up 2 technical fouls, which turned out to be very costly in that overtime loss to Indiana.
And he admitted to all of that, but Patrick plays with such emotion and such a fierceness that sometimes you lose control. He knew the ramifications of him fouling out in that ball game and just did lose control.
The Bulls with a 72-67 lead. Shot clock at 5. Pippen. Ewing with the rebound. Scottie Pippen is 1 of 5 from the field.
A tough defense that time by Larry Johnson, who pushed and shoved and got Pippen out of his comfort zone as far as a post-up was concerned, and made Pippen work extra hard for that attempted shot.
Timeout is taken with 1 minute and 44 remaining in the third.
Well, there's a look at Allan Houston, who got scorched in the first quarter by Michael Jordan, who came out very strong. And Allan himself not getting involved scoring-wise in the first half very much, has really come alive in this third quarter, mainly because of his teammates. The penetration, the extra passes, and Allan Houston, an outstanding perimeter shooter, being left open time and time again. And there Allan showing a part of his game which he improved last year in Detroit, putting it on the floor and getting to the basket. And you see the slight improvements for Houston here in this month of April, and shooting the ball much better. But Allan Houston does have 4 personal fouls.
10 of his 19 points here in the third. Allan Houston has picked it up the last couple of games. In the past, often not on the floor down the stretch, but he's been a key man in the fourth quarter the last 2 games against Atlanta and Indiana. Johnson fouled. Foul committed by Brian Williams.
There, Allan Houston. The Reds are the makes, as he has been doing it mostly from the perimeter, where he is a very dangerous perimeter shooter, works very well off the ball. His defense has always been a problem, although they feel it has improved. And of course, everybody wants to be as physical as possible with Allan Houston, as he'll finally get a breather right now with those 4 personal fouls as John Starks replaces him.
Larry Johnson, only a 69% free throw shooter. Only 3 points for Johnson. He's 1 of 8 from the field. Bulls 72 and the Knicks 68. Pippen for 3. Rebounded by Williams. Brian Williams to the left hand. And a loose ball foul. It's against Johnson. Larry Johnson with his 4th. Well, coming up on Monday, NBA.com, the official website of the NBA, will debut a special playoff section loaded with all the information you need to take you right through the NBA's second season. Before the game, arm yourself with all the key stats, game notes, in-depth series analysis, and then during the game, follow the action on the live scoreboard, and post-game, check out the recap, box scores, and the next day's video highlights. NBA.com, your ultimate online resource for the 1997 NBA playoffs. Starks. That was a 3-point attempt. Just under 1 minute remaining in the third. Ewing and Williams pushing and shoving. Shot clock at 5. Here's Brian Williams putting the brakes on. And Jordan looking to back the balls, and he does.
Well, terrific defense by the Knicks, but the Bulls showing some stick-to-itiveness there. Kept moving the ball, kept prying, and it's always nice when you can put it into the hands of Michael Jordan to get you that bucket with the shot clock winding down.
Starks lost it. 20 seconds left in the third. Bulls with the ball and a 7-point lead, and they're holding for a final shot of the quarter. Pippen. Well, the Bulls now lead 77-68. Final seconds, third quarter. And a blocking foul called on Jordan. That is his third.
Well, the Bulls kept moving the ball. Michael Jordan being hugged inside by Chris Childs. Finally released him to catch that ball and make that fadeaway jumper to just beat the shot clock. And then a blocking call against Michael at the other end to put Starks on the line.
Bulls over the foul limit, so 2 shots for John Starks, 3 for 3 at the line.
And this is when the Bulls usually run their home run play after a make or missed free throw, where Michael Jordan situated now at the top of the key at the other end of the floor, who Chicago feels is certainly more than athletic enough to catch any long pass, turn, and fire any kind of shot he can get with just 2.6 to go.
Larry Johnson back defending on Jordan. Chris Childs also moving back toward Jordan. Bulls by 7. Bushler Able to get it to center court. Jordan had to chase it. It was broken up by Oakley. And time runs out in this third quarter. The Bulls were looking for a foul call. That's the end of the third. It's the Chicago Bulls 77 and the New York Knicks 70. The stat line on Jordan, 26 points, 11 of 18 shooting. We'll be back after these words from your local station. You are watching the NBA on NBC. Welcome back to the United Center in Chicago. The usual capacity crowd, better than 23,000 on hand. The 478th consecutive sellout. Marv Albert, Matt Guokas, and Ahmad Rashad on this, the finale of the regular season for the Chicago Bulls and the New York Knicks. Chicago by 7 as we head to the fourth quarter. The Bulls seeking win number 70, looking to go back-to-back 70-win seasons. Last year, the record-breaking 72, and also gunning for their 40th win at home. That would tie the 1985-86 Boston Celtics record of 40 home wins, while the New York Knicks looking to wrap up third seed in the Eastern Conference. John Starks with a hard-driving move, and the Bulls now lead 77-72. The Hawks earlier beat the 76ers, so the Knicks and the Hawks with identical records, although the Knicks do have the tiebreaker off the season series. Brian Williams with 6 points, and the Bulls lead by 7.
Well, it was a much better defensive effort by the New York Knicks in that third quarter, as they really took the Bulls out of any continuity offensively, and consequently they got themselves, the Knicks, going at the offensive end, mainly with penetration, getting inside, and then the kickouts in particular to Allan Houston.
Good box out by Bushler in front of Oakley.
And Oakley gave a little tap on the shoulder, running back, and said, "You're right, you did box me out."
Battle between Starks and Jordan. Jordan looking for position. Bushler takes the shot. Judd Bushler with his second field goal. He has 4 points, and the Bulls have an 81-72 advantage. Here is Houston, who just checked back in. He's had the hot hand. 21 points for Allan Houston.
Terrible defense that time by the Bulls, as Phil Jackson barking out at his team. Not happy at all with the way that Scottie Pippen trailed, or failed to trail, Allan Houston off that down screen.
Pippen got the step. Phil Jackson also at the end of that third quarter was not happy with a foul that was picked up by Michael Jordan with just a couple of seconds remaining, called for a block on John Starks that put Starks at the line because the Bulls were over the limit. 17 on the 24 for the Knicks.
Now Phil is getting in playoff form, letting the beard go. You'll remember all last season he had the full beard. What a season it was. So he's getting ready for the playoffs, or he forgot to shave today.
Are you saying there is a plan? And a tripping foul. Foul on Bushler. A moment ago we talked about that foul that did not please Phil Jackson. Well, Michael Jordan pleaded his case to Phil. Take a listen.
And here's the play that Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson are discussing. Michael trying to step out and take the charge, explaining to Phil Jackson that, hey, I cut him off. I try to keep him from turning the corner.
Timeout is taken with 9:51 remaining. Fourth quarter.
Miller Genuine Draft presents a classic moment of the NBA at 50.
Today, a look at Scottie Pippen of the Chicago Bulls. Now in his 10th season, Pippen was the Seattle Sonics' #1 pick in the 1987 draft. His rights were then traded to Chicago. He is a 3-time All-NBA first-teamer. He's played on 4 Bulls championship teams, 7-time All-Star. He was the 1994 All-Star Game Most Valuable Player. In recognition of this classic moment, Miller Beer donates $1,000 to the Thurgood Marshall Scholarship Fund. Well, Scotty not able to get into it today. Had that 33-point game in the last meeting in New York, going 11 of 19 from the field at 18 of his 33 in the first quarter. Today he's done it in the assist column with 10, but not shooting well. Ward for three. But Williams able to get to the rebound. Houston is fouled. Allan Houston sandwiched between two Bulls. And the foul on Buechler. Well, as we mentioned, Atlanta over Philadelphia 136-104, led by that terrific backcourt Steve Smith and Mookie Blaylock. Miami finishes with 61 wins. What a season for Pat Riley and the Miami Heat. Denver in front of Dallas in the fourth quarter. Two teams just playing out the schedule. Utah in the third. Minnesota 59-53. Utah beats Minnesota. Houston almost certainly would get the Phoenix Suns in the opening round. Seattle with a 25-7 lead on the LA Clippers. And again a whistle. Foul called on Ward. That is his second. If the Knicks can come from behind and beat the Bulls here tonight, they would clinch third seed. If they lose, it would come down to what Atlanta does against New Jersey tomorrow. Jordan trying to shake off Starks. Charlie got the roll. 28 for Michael Jordan. Charging foul on Ward.
Randy Brown, his specialty is tough defense and good pressure up the floor, and will be very valuable to the Bulls come playoff time. Just timing and sensing that crossover move by Charlie Ward and getting it perfectly to take that charge.
Bulls 85, the Knicks 76. Buechler played by Williams. Jordan with a great pass, but Brian Williams not able to hit. Jordan breaks up the pass intended for Ewing and deflected out by the Bulls.
Even though Brian Williams missed that last layup, it was a good hard cut, good move, good catch, just unable to finish the play. But more and more Brian Williams is getting comfortable with the triangle offense and the familiarity of his teammates.
By Ewing going to the drop step. He has 21. Bulls 85, the Knicks 78.
But that kind of defense will not win him a lot of playing time for Phil Jackson. Getting him such an easy one.
The steal by Starks, setting it up in Houston. Michael Jordan turning it over, looking to throw a blind pass, and it was picked off. So the Knicks are within 5. Brown had it poked away. Knicks going now with Ewing and Williams as the big men, and Jeff Van Gundy staying with the three guards, Starks, Houston, and Ward. And Starks defending against Jordan. Buechler from deep. Traveling violation. Houston putting moves on Kerr and drew the foul. Allan Houston will go to the line.
Well, Patrick Ewing has the mismatch inside against Brian Williams, and every time he gets good post position, he'll be either able to get a good scoring chance or draw a double team and find an open player. But that time he gave up the opportunity for Allan Houston to go one-on-one, use his height advantage against Steve Kerr. Anytime Steve Kerr is guarding a big guard who has some post-up capabilities, they're going to get that opportunity inside.
Knicks 16 of 21 from the foul line. 85-82, the Bulls lead is cut to 3. The 3 previous games between the Knicks and the Bulls, all close. A 1-pointer, a 4-pointer, and a 2-pointer. Bulls winning 2 of the 3. And a foul, offensive foul on Jordan. That is his 4th.
Michael about to complain there, but that was all set up by the aggressive pressure by John Starks, who, as we said earlier, normally does not get much playing time defensively against Michael. Here, swatting at the ball, keeping after him, and taking that ever so slight little right forearm shiver, and getting the foul, the 4th on Michael.
And a blocking foul on Brown.
Well, Randy Brown already picked up 1 charge against Charlie Ward, did not get it the second time as his feet were moving.
4th team foul on the Bulls is fouled. Buck Williams reacting very well to the double team, finding Charlie Ward. And a technical foul has been called on Brian Williams.
Well, Brian Williams was frustrated at the call, not agreeing with it, and then foolishly bouncing the ball, only went about 6 or 7 feet over his head. I think that all that action before, but then you could see he did not really slam the ball hard down. But I think what the baseline official Ed Rush saw was the first initial reaction of Brian Williams, which was disgust, and felt that he did throw the ball down hard from his vantage point.
The Knicks are down by only 1. They've come from 14 back. They had the lead briefly. They're up 25-24 in the first half. The game is tied at 85. 7 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Brian Williams going at Patrick Ewing. Tough move by Williams to give the Bulls an 87-85 lead. But once again, the Knicks have played the Bulls very tough. Here's Ward for Ewing. Yes. And again, the game tied at 87.
Now the Knicks are too good a defensive team to give up the numbers that they did in the first half. 58 points, 53% from the field. The Knicks know they're capable of playing better at the defensive end.
Down by as many as 14, the game is now tied at 87. And this has developed into such a terrific rivalry. These two clubs do not particularly like each other, so they would love to spoil the party, so to speak. You know, the Knicks would like to prevent the Bulls from winning number 70. Certainly from the other end of the spectrum, the Bulls would like to see the Knicks drop to the number 4 seed. The Bulls win tonight. It's all in the hands of the night of tomorrow. Huge line puck shot by Luke Longley. And the Bulls lead 89-87 as we come up on 6 minutes remaining in this 4th quarter.
Well, there's been some question of whether the Bulls would like to see them at that 4th spot or have to battle it out with a possible 2-3 matchup with the Miami Heat, which would be quite a physical battle. But right now, I think the Chicago Bulls are more worried about their team right now and getting their key players, Kukoc and Rodman, back and ready for the playoffs. And Jeff Van Gundy is very much concerned with his team because he just does not know from night to night. Allan Houston out with 5.
Allan Houston with 19 of his 23 points in the second half. Picked up that 5th foul. And Chris Childs has checked back in. Michael Jordan sitting it out. Pippen's pass broken up. On the turnover, here comes Starks against the backpedaling Brown. He fires it up for 3. And the Knicks have taken a 1-point lead, 90-89. John Starks with the pull-up 3. Ward got a piece of it. Ball by Spike Lee, the man in orange. Spike Lee also hearing the boos from the crowd.
Well, this was all set up off the Pippen turnover in that deep post position. Got himself caught in the air as John Starks, playing with a great deal of emotion as he did night in and night out, as Spike Lee has made it all the way out to the Windy City.
In New York, Nick, orange and blue. Michael Jordan back on the floor, getting the screen from Longley. Jordan curved the guards, Pippen, Longley, Caffey up front. 24-second violation.
And you can see the concentration level right now. The Bulls, nobody on the floor aware of what the shot clock situation is. And Phil Jackson just looking in disbelief at his ball club out on the floor right now.
Timeout situation. Knicks have 4 left and a 20. Bulls with 2 and a 20 off the turnover. Jordan on the prize foul. Michael with that deceptive move on the dribble. It's one of the rare times today that he's taken it to the basket.
Well, the turnover by Chris Childs as really Patrick Ewing, I thought, had an opportunity to come from behind to try to flick that ball away from Michael Jordan. But Michael putting on a little burst of speed there, getting into the lane as he has taken his hits, his lumps, anytime he has been in that basket area, or anytime for that matter. The Knicks have been very physical with him.
And they have been calling the fouls. Jordan is playing with 4. He's only 4 of 7 at the line, making 4 of 8 at the line. The game tied at 90, and a timeout called by the Knicks. It is a 20-second timeout. Well, looking ahead tomorrow, the final day of the NBA regular season will get underway right here on NBC at 3 o'clock Eastern Time with NBA Showtime. Then most of you will see Shaquille O'Neal and the hot Los Angeles Lakers going up against Kenny Anderson and the Portland Trail Blazers. Others will see the Bullets and the Cavaliers in a showdown to make the playoffs, or Houston and the San Antonio Spurs. Check your local listings for the game in your area. And a programming note, tomorrow's Washington-Cleveland game will be seen here in Chicago, in the upper Midwest, the Cleveland area, and the Baltimore-Washington region. Quite a race in the Western Conference. The importance of tomorrow's games, the Pacific Division winner will be the number 2 seed. If the Lakers win tomorrow, they clinch the 2nd seed because they've beaten Seattle head-to-head 3-1. And Houston can clinch the 3rd seed with a win tomorrow. The Rockets have beaten Seattle and LA 3-1. Utah, of course, clinched home court throughout in the West with that 62-18. Patrick Ewing, rebounded by Scottie Pippen. And Washington and Cleveland are playing to make the playoffs. They are tied for that 8th and final seed in the East. It's called out of bounds, so the ball back to the Knicks.
Well, both teams playing with playoff defensive intensity, putting pressure on the ball, challenging every pass and every catch and every shot.
Coming up on 4 minutes remaining in the 4th quarter. Knicks have outscored the Bulls 20-13 here in the 4th. Ewing. Intercepted by Jordan. The pass intended for Starks. Kerr for 3. And a timeout called by the Knicks.
Well, it all starts with a dream and a wish, and who knows. But Michael coming through defensively, and how many times have we seen a player jump in the air and throw it to nobody in particular, as Michael Jordan gets his 2nd steal and just feels that Steve Kerr is going to drain that 3-point shot. And even Tiger Woods showing a tremendous amount of emotion there, getting excited about that Chicago basket. You know, on the golf course, Marv, you're not allowed to, jump up and down.
It is that golfing mode. Here's Childs, fouled by Kerr. Steve Kerr a moment ago hitting that 3-pointer, his 3rd of the game. 3 of 4 from downtown. Did it off the steal. Michael Jordan averaging just under 3 steals per game. I think even Moot Blaylock at home watching was cheering that steal, rooting for the Chicago Bulls. Bulls now lead 93-91. 6 points, 6 assists for Childs.
Wow, This is obviously Michael Jordan time. You know he's going to be involved somehow offensively, and then the decision for the Knicks is, do you come double him as soon as he catches the ball and not wait for him to put it on the floor?
Pippen being played by Houston. Houston with 5 fouls. Caffey back out for Pippen. The shot clock is at 6. Here's Pippen taking it to the basket. It is only his 4th field goal. He has 10 points, along with 10 assists. And the Bulls with a 95-92 lead. The last time the Knicks beat the Bulls here in Chicago, it was April of '94. The last regular season game at Chicago Stadium. Kicked out of bounds. Last touch by Chicago. The Bulls have won the last 11, including the playoffs, over the Knicks in the Windy City. And the Knicks are 0-8 here at the United Center. Just under 3 minutes remaining on the 4th. It's a goaltend.
Well, what comes around goes around. There was a play in the first half where Scottie Pippen took it off the rim, and it was not called. This one bouncing up over the rim, and a goaltend as the crowd reacted, the Chicago bench reacted, and that was illegal interference.
It brings the Knicks within 1. Bulls 95, Knicks 94. It's been a hot shooting 4th quarter for Chicago. 8 of 10 from the field. They're 54% for the game. The Knicks shooting at 44%. Jordan putting moves on Starks. Yes. 31 for Michael Jordan. Well, he's not going to reach 65 as he promised. He will not average 30 points for the season. Starks with the reverse. But Michael Jordan, 13 of 20 for his 31 points. Chicago by 1 as we come up on 2 minutes remaining in the 4th. Longley with the Oakley rebound. Houston. Yes. What a move by Allan Houston, doing it off the dribble. And the Knicks take a 1-point lead. 21 points for Allan Houston in the second half. 21 of his 25. They double up on Jordan, and he is fouled. For the Knicks, it is only their 3rd team foul. Chicago is already over the limit.
Well, time and time again, we've seen the New York guards work on that crossover, getting the Bulls' aggressive defense leaning one way, stopping quickly and pulling back, as Allan Houston has had himself a fine offensive game. Of course, he's had his work cut out for him with Michael Jordan being so aggressive.
Longley lost it, recovered by Kerr. A minute 35 remaining on the 4th. Jordan. The Bulls recapture the lead, up by 1, and the Knicks call for time.
Well, Michael has been getting the double team. It's coming a little bit too late, even though that's a perimeter shot. Patrick Ewing was on his way. Too late.
Welcome back to Chicago. A minute 32 remaining in the 4th quarter. The Bulls up by 1. A timeout rundown. Knicks with 2 left. Chicago 2 plus a 20. The Chicago Bulls trying to make it a 70-win season. Looking to go back-to-back with the magic number of 70, a record-breaking 72 a year ago. They come in at 69-12. While the Knicks are hoping to clinch the 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference. Allan Houston guarded by Michael Jordan. Luke Longley on Patrick Ewing. And Ewing hits to give the Knicks a 1-point lead. 100-99 with 1:15 remaining in the 4th. Pippen now played on a switch by Houston. Jordan eluding Starks. Rebounded by Houston.
Michael using that double screen, but I'm surprised they're not either putting him in the post or giving the ball to Michael at the top of the key area. It's much more difficult to double team him up there, and he's got some space to create something.
The Knicks with the ball and a 1-point lead. Ewing stripped, was trying to draw the foul. Starks able to pick it up and hit a three for John Starks. Timeout called by Chicago with 40 and 8/10 seconds to go in this fourth quarter.
And what really sets this up is the aggressiveness of Patrick Ewing on the loose ball situation. Trying to get the post up, stripped by Longley, but by Patrick diving for that loose ball, forcing Kerr to go over the top. Got the loose ball to Starks to drain the three.
40 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter here in Chicago. Knicks up by 4. The Knicks' last win in the city of Chicago, April the 26th, 1994. Last regular season game played at the old Chicago Stadium. Patrick Ewing with 25 to lead the way in a 92-76 victory, including the playoffs. The Knicks coming into tonight have lost 11 straight here in the Windy City. 0-8 lifetime, as you can see, at the United Center. And Matt, the Knicks certainly have had a magnificent run the past 3 weeks. On Saturday, 2 weeks ago, they won in Atlanta. Pippen is fouled, and he'll go to the line. Foul on Houston, and that is number 6. 2 weeks ago, a win in Atlanta. Last Saturday afternoon, they win in Miami. And here in Chicago tonight, up by 4 with 37 seconds to go.
Well, the Knicks have been a good team on the road for a long stretch. They just seem to get more comfortable when they get away from Madison Square Garden with each other and seem to play their whole game. Now, they didn't play it in the first half tonight, but came out with more resolve defensively and finally got that man, Allan Houston, going offensively along with John Starks, hitting the perimeter shots.
Allan Houston played 36 minutes, 25 points, 21 of the 25 in the second half, and he has been doing it in third and fourth quarters as of late. Scottie Pippen, just a 69% free throw shooter, able to hit both, and it leads to a Knick timeout with 37 seconds left in this fourth quarter. A reminder tonight, after your late local news, right here on NBC, Saturday Night Live with host Pamela Lee and musical guest, the Rollins Band. That's tonight right here on NBC. The Knicks were down by as many as 14 points early in the third quarter. The Knicks 11 of 15 from the field in this fourth quarter. The Knicks with 1 timeout remaining. Chicago has a full and a 20. Both teams are over the limit in terms of fouls. And if the Knicks can hang on, they will clinch third seed in the East and prevent the Bulls from winning number 70. 12 defeats for the Bulls this season. 11 of the 12 have been on the road. The only team to beat the Bulls at home, Miami. In fact, they're the only team to beat the Bulls twice this season. The Miami Heat defeating the Chicago Bulls this past Wednesday in Miami. The Knick victory over the Bulls at Madison Square Garden back on March the 9th. And following that victory, the Knicks went into the down period. In fact, since then, they have won 9 and lost 9. The phrase "caught up in the glow of the victory" heard over and over in the New York area. So you wonder if the Knicks are able to hold on here tonight. Will that be a bad effect come playoff time?
Well, I'm sure they'll worry about that later if they can pull it off. You'll remember Patrick Ewing made the big shot in that game on March 9th from the left baseline, kissing it off the glass. And right now, the Bulls are going to put out their best defensive unit and try to put pressure on. They don't need to commit a foul here. They can be aggressive. And the Knicks want to use as much clock as possible, but give the ball to Patrick Ewing with about 7 or 8 seconds and see what he can get.
Oakley able to inbound to Childs. They trap him. Dangerous pass, but Oakley caught it. Down to 30 seconds. 18 on the shot clock. The Knicks with the ball and a 2-point lead. We're down to 10 on the 24. Oakley sets the pick. They double up on Childs. We're down to 5. And Ward takes the shot for 3. Rebounds. No timeout being called. Final seconds of regulation. Down to 5. It's Jordan against Starks. Jordan on the drive gives it up. Pippen for 3. Rebounded by Starks, and the Knicks have defeated the Bulls. 103 to 101. Scottie Pippen with a 3-point attempt with time running down. So the Knicks have clinched 3rd seed in the East. The Bulls do not make it back-to-back 70-win seasons. They do not win 40 at home. And another look at that last sequence.
Well, the Bulls had a decision to make: go in transition or take the timeout. They had the ball in the hands of Michael Jordan, who gave the ball up into the corner. Steve Kerr quickly kicked it out to Scottie Pippen to let him try to win it, as Jeff Van Gundy, who had been out on the floor trying to play some defense, who will savor this one for quite some time.
And the Knicks go to 57-25. They finish 3rd of the East. Let's go to Ahmad Rashad.
All right.